Hi, my name is Marty Levinson.
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. I'm here to give you...
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Come on, baby, don't you wanna go? Back to that lemon light city, sweet home Chicago. 2 is 4, 4 4 6. Come on, baby, now get your business fixed. Come on, honey, don't you?
Hi, I'm Marty Levinson. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine.
Hi, Avi Meyers here. Welcome to the Northtown News Magazine, a presentation of my entire technical crew, Sonny Hersh, and myself. Join us on the World Wide Web at www.ntnm.org. And now on ntnm.org, you will be able to see our shows after they've aired on your cable stations. Don't get Dish. Got to stay with us still. You will be able to see all our shows on the web. There's already some now. Go to our website, ntnm.org. You'll have the links to click to. You'll be able to see every single show after it's finished airing on TV on the web in its entirety. It is a pleasure. And by the way, also want to remind you, community policing meetings, caps24.org. Make sure you attend all the good community policing stuff. And want to thank, hey, Marty, your haircut from last time was so good. Okay, 3 weeks later, I didn't need to get clipped again. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. It is a pleasure and privilege to have the commissioner of the 13th District of Cook County, my commissioner, your commissioner, everybody's commissioner, Commissioner Larry Suffredin.
Thank you, Abby. Nice to be here again.
Pleasure, Larry. And tell us now, in this election, do you actually have an opponent this time?
I had an opponent till last week, and he didn't file his paperwork correctly, so he was knocked off the ballot by the Cook County Electoral Board.
That's
so I'm now
Republican
unopposed.
Disease this year.
Yes, there were a whole number, about 18 of them, who for some reason the party didn't fill out their paperwork correctly, and they were all knocked off. And so I'm unopposed, which gives me an opportunity to work for other candidates that will be beneficial to my constituents.
So are you saddened by this development? Or?
I'm not saddened to be unopposed, but I'm happy to be able to go out there and speak for other people like Alexi Giannoulias, a young man from our neighborhood here who's going to make a great state treasurer.
As a matter of fact, too, we'll be at our next taping, by the way.
That'll be great.
And, yeah, as a matter of fact, I met with him just a couple days ago. And so you're a Giannoulias fan. Tell us, as long as we don't have to... Well, first of all, I was going to vote for you anyway, and I'm still going to vote for you, and I would have voted for you before. And if my precinct captain and election judges will let me, which they won't, I'd vote for you several times, but it doesn't work these days. Not that I ever hit... By the way, I've been a poll watcher most of my life and a Project Leap poll watcher, just Project Leap judges so people know when I joke about voting early and often. I used to be the guy that was stopping other people from voting too often.
Well, we can now vote early, and early voting is something we want to encourage people to do because you never know what the weather will be on November 7th. So the Chicago Board of Election and the Cook County Clerk's Office will be publicizing the locations you can go to, and I really do encourage people to try and vote early in that 21-day period before November 7th.
Yeah, it's a good idea because in case anything happens or people get messed up, I think it's great and people should do it. And for sure.
And the other people who are unopposed, and I think it's really worth noting because these are all good people who represent our area. Terry O'Brien and Deborah Shore and Pat Horton, the three candidates for the water reclamation, their candidates that the Republicans put up were knocked off the ballot. So they're unopposed, and they'll be able to get ready and work hard for us going forward. By
the way, that's courtesy, and that particular one for sure I know is courtesy of our mutual friend Jim Nally.
Right, he was the lawyer on that case. And Harry Osterman, Jeff Schoenberg, Julie Hamos are unopposed. Our friends Jan Schakowsky and Carol Ronan do have opponents, so please remember to vote for the two of them. Ira Silverstein's not up this time. Lou Lang is unopposed. So we have a core group of people who represent this area who will be going back into their offices right after the election and continue to do the work they're doing. But, we've got an important race in Cook County, and that's the president of the county board's race, and that's what I'd like to talk to you about. I know you're going to have Alderman Stroger on, and you're going to have my fellow commissioner, Tony Pareca, on.
Right.
And I will tell you, Tony Pareca is the most engaging personality on our board. He's the person I certainly enjoy having dinner with, talking with. But I want the people of our district to know that his approach to government, while it's compatible at some levels, is really not compatible at others. And just to give you an example, there'll be a referendum on the ballot to ban military-style assault weapons and .50 caliber rifles. And I put that referendum on the ballot so that we could try and get some momentum to get Springfield to adopt a bill that would fill in the gap after the feds let the federal assault weapons ban expire. The most loud critic of our proposal was Tony Pareka. And I don't believe that the right person to be president of the county board is somebody who is pro-gun. We live in a community where we know that guns are dangerous. They cause a public safety problem. They cause a public health problem. And the cost of gun violence at our hospital and to our whole system is just so great that I want to recommend Todd Stroger to your listening audience as the candidate for president who can best bring the values that we want as Democrats. And he is not just his father's clone or puppet. He is his own man. He's been a state rep. He's been an alderman. He is somebody that will do a good job and bring change to Cook County government.
Okay, very good. Well, you're certainly clear on that issue.
Yes.
I was kind of wondering about that. Okay, and by the way, I am at this point, because I haven't scheduled all the shows and we're filming 3 shows in one day, I'm not sure if you have to wait a week to see Alderman Stroger and Commissioner Pareka, or whether they were on last week. So, watch us every week, ntnm.org, and you'll definitely find these things out.
Well, let me just think to the future. You'll see them both sometime in the future on Avi's show.
Well, definitely. And, well, listen, they're both important people, and either one, they're both elected officials regardless of anything, what happens in the president's race.
Right. And, I think we have a very good chance of taking back the United States House of Representatives. And if that happens, our own Congresswoman Jan Schakowsky will be in an important leadership position.
Yeah.
That will be very significant to our constituents.
No, by the way, just about everybody you talked about, is, well, I have to be careful because not every race, but no, she, as a matter of fact, she's hoping to become chairman of a very important subcommittee in an area that she's been pointing to. We had her on not that long ago on the show. And that would be nice. That would be very nice.
Well, and then, the other Democratic candidates, I think Governor Blagojevich has certainly earned everybody's real respect and re-election. The polling that's out shows him ahead. I've been challenging people to think of the name of the person running against Lisa Madigan. And there are very few people who can even name her opponent, so that's a good sign for her. He's the state's attorney at Tazewell County, and I'll tell you where Tazewell County is. It's half of Peoria is in Tazewell County.
Oh, that's big time stuff.
But I also have been challenging people to think of the name of Jesse White's opponent. I was with Jesse White last week. What a marvelous human being!
Oh, by the way, Jesse White will be our next taping. Jesse White will be here.
Oh, that's great. One of the truly great public servants.
He's about the only public servant the public official I've ever seen who avoids controversy. It doesn't matter what position he's in. Everybody seems to like him.
Well, and then
he does well.
Dan Hines, nobody can think of who's running against Dan Hines. And Pat Quinn running with the governor, well, his fate is tied to the governor's race, but Pat Quinn's doing a great job for all of us. So, this is going to be a very good Democratic year. We have the right candidates, we have the right opportunity, and the Republican Party is having to walk around and explain George Bush to us. And George Bush is wasting the resources of this country. George Bush has got us into a quagmire in Iraq and Afghanistan, and he has not come up with any kind of a cohesive plan to get us out. And I think this will help someone like Dan Seals running for Congress just a little bit north of us. Here's somebody running against Mark Kirk, and Mark Kirk is Don Rumsfeld's protege. You want to send Don Rumsfeld's protege to Congress again? No, I think Dan Seals will win that race. So, and Tammy Duckworth's doing well. So this is, while I'm happy to be unopposed, I'm excited about being able to go out and help other Democratic candidates.
And I guess that's what you'll be doing. Well, you were actually the head of, I keep wanting to switch the words around, but DePoe as opposed to Dope.
Yeah.
Democratic Party of Evanston. You were the chairman.
I was the committeeman back in the early '90s, and Now Senator Schoenberg is the committeeman, and Bonnie Wilson's the president.
Hey, Jeff, it's okay to come on the show sometime.
Well, we'll have to get him here. You know,
That's not going to. He knows me too long. He's not going to do it.
He and Ira, I think, have some kind of an agreement that he can't come into Ira's district without a passport or something.
By the way, the funny thing is that Jeff and my brother were in grammar school and high school together. Okay, and Ira and my brother were also in the same grade, but not in the same school. And Ira and my brother were part of the same youth group.
Well, then maybe Jeff's known you too long. I don't know, but I'm sure Jeff will come on when he can. I know today.
Well, the last time I ran into him, as a matter of fact, was these wonderful July 4th picnics over at somebody's named Suffredin's house for the Democratic Party of Evanston.
We used to, before the parades, have these picnics.
And that was terrific. I had a nice chat with Dick Durbin last time, and you know,
what another. Aren't we lucky to have Dick Durbin and Barack Obama representing us in the United States Senate? Wow. Yeah, there's no.
Well, this is an Evanston Democrat stream. There's no question about it.
Well, absolutely. But you know, we've got to work hard because, you know, you can't just take for granted that you're going to be a democratic state. You've got to fight for the values that make us a democratic state, and we've got to work on getting better education for people, better housing, better health care, better employment opportunities, and you know, all of those things will, if they happen, then we'll stay a strong democratic state.
As a matter of fact, the recent Tribune poll was saying that more people in the state are tending to be Democratic.
The largest differential, 27% more people identify themselves as Democrat than they do as Republican. So I think that, you know, the signs are all right for things to be good. Now, you know, we still have issues in our community. By
the way, I think Bush is the best thing you got going in your favor that way.
Well, you know, it's too bad because, you know, you only have one president. And I remember this from the Vietnam era with, you know, Lyndon Johnson was our only president and was a Democrat who made a lot of mistakes, some of them very similar to what George Bush is doing. But we've got to remember that while you respect the office of president, we still have to work very, very hard to make sure that the right values are being communicated. And I think that right now our problem is this president is not communicating those values. You know, what he's doing to veterans. On the next county board, I will be the only veteran serving in county board government. Yeah,
I had no idea.
And right now, Commissioner Hansen, who lost his primary and won't be in the next board, is the other veteran with me. But, you know, I'm watching the cuts on these veterans, and I'm watching veterans show up at county hospital to get health care, where they should be expecting that we, as a grateful nation, would be providing that health care to them. We have got to get this president to get back in these last 2 years and to reprioritize what he's going to do for veterans.
Well, I would, by the way, that's something I very strongly agree with, even though my father was a veteran, I was not a veteran. He had a very high number, and I didn't go volunteer for Vietnam, so... well, you know, as long as we're talking about this, let's talk about health care too, because you're the one person. One of the many things I do like about you. Not that I agree with most of the candidates you talked about. I can't tell you. Well, first of all, it's your segment, so we're talking your politics, but which is fine.
I want to welcome you to my show, Avi. It's really nice having you with me.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And by the way, thanks for the haircut. I do appreciate it.
Yeah, right.
Okay. But no, you know, you've been campaigning and you've been at the forefront of the fight as the leader, the starter, the initiator, the whole thing, to bring a county health care clinic somewhere near this neighborhood.
We are going to get something soon. It may not be the traditional kind of clinic, because one of the things that's happening is all of the delivery systems are changing. And the county has great resources, and my goal is to get those resources working for our citizens. And I think that we are very close to getting something. It should happen, I hope, in the next year. And whoever the president is, I think that we've got the die cast, as they say, and it will happen.
I think it needs to happen. There's nothing even remotely close to here, and your district goes much further north than just the north side of the city. You're well into the suburbs also. And I think it's almost criminal that there's nothing closer. By the way, one thing I would like to say that I don't say this on the show often enough. Sometimes I get criticized by one of my reporter friends in particular, in Evanston, as a matter of fact, tells me I'm not hard enough on people, and I try to explain to him that I'm not doing his job. The idea behind the show is that people can really show, the idea is to showcase the people that are on, not me. The less I talk, the better job I do. Okay, the idea is that people get the opportunity to get to know people like you and the other people running for office and elected officials and important people within the community. Because if you were on a regular station, you'd be cut off after about 20 seconds.
Well, I think your format is a great format for us to reach out, and I'm always struck by being stopped in different places saying that I saw you on TV, and it's your show that people saw us on. And, the style you use is what Katie Couric has used. And look, she just got, a $24 million contract. So, the same thing may happen to you.
I'll take the $24. I'm still waiting for that. By the way, we've got exactly 20 seconds. So
20 seconds. For people in Rogers Park, the Board of Review is open to appeal your assessment notices that you got earlier. If you're still not happy, you've got till October 18th to file appeals. Go to my website, www.suffredin.org, SUFFREDIN, and we will help you get those appeals on file. And I hope that you'll avail yourself of this opportunity to make sure you're paying your fair share.
Okay.
Thank you.